Right, now we want to get somebody, but I want to, there's another part of this, because we went after another creature down there. So the question is, would you like to eat, and I'll do the second half later, or
I think you
what
should
do we want
keep
to do?
going, Dad. The point out site 2.
Yeah,
right?
site 2, see, we went from here to this one. We went as far deep in the jungle as you can go down here. This is to this lake here. This is a thermal lake. Now, thermal lake, at the head of this thermal lake were some gushing hot springs that you can see all around this lake. This lake is all heat that's generated by these hot springs. And what basically happened was, in 1908, two explorers actually stumbled across an animal that was in this lake. Over 30 foot long it was. Now, it's linked, we think, to this creature here in the Congo called the Mokele-mbembe. And it is basically, you saw the picture of the cirrus, didn't you? With the horn, well, I said that I thought it was linked to the unicorn. Remember on the screen there?
We're coming up to that later.
Oh, have we not done that?
No, we're at the thermal hot springs.
Oh, right,
now.
here's the hot springs here then. This is all, he said the vegetation was absolutely marvellous, but it had something to do with the heat of the water. And when they went through this whole area, and this is all that the luxurious vegetation that was in this lake.
We travelled for an hour deep into the jungle. We didn't see any colours like this in the water. This is very
This is all different lake altogether, you know.
Okay.
There's something else about this lake that was in the story, and we confirmed it existed. They have floating islands. Islands that float all over the lake, and in the middle of the island that's floating, they have these wallows. And I don't know about you, but I don't know any other creature that has a wallow on an island. Do you? I mean, I don't. I mean, you know, pigs have them, but they wouldn't swim out in the middle of a river or lake to have a wallow. But anyway, all these islands are all floating around in this lake. Maybe that's why they were upset that the team went down, because you would be very dangerous with these things they would crash, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the move.
Now here's what we found. You see this here? This is a scuba diver's stand. We think it is anyway. And this is what the team left behind when they went. You see, it's like, you know, men were so untidy. Not men, but men were too.
Space and leave the rubbish.
But they leave all their rubbish behind. Do you ever see pictures of the Antarctic? And they leave all these oil drums and stuff around? Well, this is what happened here. They just left it in the middle. They didn't even bother.
If I can add to that, what happened? We were being very careful to make sure we had the permits for everything. And there's an organisation called INRENA, and we were dealing with the president of the INRENA to make sure we had the permits to go in. And it developed. It turned out that the complications we were having, why it was so difficult, was because the team had gone in without permission, landed on a hydroplane in a lake, and the president ended up getting fired over this. So Senior Grocio eventually gave us permission to go in, and we flew in, took these photographs at about 500 feet, and came across by accident the diving platform. And the perpendicular part of that platform, and this is why we think it's a diving platform, is that it actually is an air canister. So we reckon they had been at the same lake.
And they left their rubbish behind, as usual, you know. But anyway, here's one that's interesting. I hope I'm not skipping ahead on you, Greg, here. And put on the next one, let's see. No, we're not. I'm not. We'll leave that up there for a minute. But what happened going down to this lake here? They wanted to save us money, you see. And they said, you can go by transport plane. And we said, how are we going to go by transport plane? There's no windows in a transport plane. What were they going to do?
They're going to fly at 1,000 feet, and and strap us in at the back and hydraulically lift the cargo doors.
And we're
Take
hanging out the
pictures.
back taking pictures. I says, I'm not into that, you know.
What's
This
wrong
is
with
not, this is not for me, you know what I mean? So anyway, we took a Piper Lancer, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, we should have pictured
Took
it.
a Piper Lancer down there to this lake anyway. Now, the reason we went to this lake was that in, I think I told you, 1908, these two explorers went. One was called Hermann Schmidt, and the other was Rudolf Feng. They were two Germans. And back in those days, they tramped through the jungle. You can imagine the water that's in those Amazonian jungles. You're not just walking on dry land, you're walking through water. And these people were going through all this water in the middle of the jungle. See, today when people do shots, documentaries, they usually stay close to the river where they don't have to get involved in all that, you know. But years ago, these guys were very, very brave, I must say. They walked right into the jungle. They came across this this lake here. Anyway,
It could have been eaten.
well, they could, or they have, what do they get, these sort of sores from too much water in their food, in their shoes and boots or whatever, you know. So anyway, like the